Hello and welcome to Around the World in 274 days, and welcome to Split, Croatia. I was here for half a day a night and then another half a day. Drove up from Tuzla, Bosnia to check on some logistic operations that were taking place here. And so it's good to be back, but this time as a tourist to see what's really here. Split is the second largest city in Croatia. It's a coastal city that has a small town feel and vibe. The streets can be noisy with easygoing locals. So again, we're in Split and we're going to do what they call the must-see walking tour. And it's going to be about an hour and a half, and we're going to walk through the old city. Should be fun.
Outside of the palace, and this tower is visible right here in front of us, and the tower will be at the end where we started the tour, so it can be good for our orientation. Today we can see three sides of the main wall still here, only one side we do not see, later we'll explain why. Here it feels comfortable, wide, planned construction, space for everything inside. Used to be many narrow streets. Often you're walking and you're wondering, are we inside or are we outside of the palace? But maybe that will be the most beautiful part of the city. Something that is the same, soon we'll see it, is this building over here. Try to remember, if you can, this octagonally shaped house, specific shape and a special purpose. Back then and today, something very different. Now we'll enter through south gates, originally 4 main entrances. We will see all of them on a tour. Before we enter, maybe some questions if you have at this moment?
Where's the bell tower?
Well, any question except for that one.
We entered the gate of this 1700-year-old palace, and we immediately found ourselves in the basement. And the interesting thing about being down here is this is the one area that is perfectly preserved. And the reason why is this is where they threw their garbage and their sewer. And so once it started to fill up, nobody came down here, nobody wanted to change anything. And it wasn't until within the last 50 years or so they started cleaning out the garbage and the sewer. This is the main city wall from the inside looking out. And as you look around, you can see bits and pieces of ancient architecture. Some beautiful flower gardens inside. Okay, I'm not going to get all the names right, but a Roman emperor retired here and had this entire complex built as his retirement home. He was buried in that building. It was a mausoleum. After his death, there was some political uprising. His body disappeared. And then there was another ruler who hated Christians, and he put many of them to death. And he either died or was killed. They put him in there as a mausoleum. But then when the Christians kind of took control, they really sacked the city, destroyed a good share of it, and they were going to destroy the mausoleum, but they said, no, let's do something even better. They turned his mausoleum into a Catholic church. So nothing but a lot of war and people misbehaving. I find the architecture of these old cities and the ancient streets and just to be absolutely fascinating to walk through. And it's kind of fun to imagine in your mind's eye what life was back like here, back 1,000 years. Located in the palace is this vestibule that is very well preserved, again dating back at least 1,700 years, and had some really great acoustics, as you'll see here in just a minute. Make things just a little bit more interesting, we had some Roman Legionnaires throughout here in the courtyard. They've been doing a lot of restoration and renovation in the city. Here you can see one of the narrow streets, but there's a lot of scaffolding and wooden support that's going in there supporting those walls. You can also see old construction, antique or ancient construction, along with relatively new construction all mixed together. There's an ancient fountain that's still running. So here's something kind of interesting. This is the gate to the city, and there are two doors, main gates. That one right behind me, and that one right there. And if they were under the threat of attack or siege, they would leave the outer door open, and then everyone would race in to think they've got an end to the city. And as soon as this square filled up, they'd lower that gate right there. That gate would be closed, and then they'd start pouring in hot oil and light it on fire and shoot them all with arrows. Brilliant defense. I hate to be the one in here though. Here again is another original wall from the city that was built. It's been sitting there for a long time. Interesting that there are still residents that live in here. Here you can see them drying their laundry. Again, it's a beautiful city. This big statue is of a 10th century bishop whose name was Nenitsky, and his claim to fame was he defied the Pope and conducted the Mass in Croatian rather than in Latin. And of course he was memorialized by the Croatians as one of the most famous bishops. We are hiking up top of this road and then up on a big hill, little mountain that overlooks the city. We understand there's a great view. We'll see. This is Mount Marion that we were hiking up, but it was so hot we didn't go all the way, but we walked up through some tiny narrow streets on the way up and started getting some great views of the city and the harbor. Again, Split is a beautiful town, well worth a visit if you happen to be in the area. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, Around the World in 274 Days. Thanks for watching.